Listen, I personally, I feel like you guys are mean girls, and I understand why Michelle doesn't like me. She's warranted, I'm dating her ex. Like, there's history there. But you, to me, went on national television and told everyone that I threatened to sue you. And then she's like, well, you sent a cease and desist. And she's like, no, I didn't. No, I did not. Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
I'm Kelly.
We are talking about The Valley, Season 3, Episode number 7. This one's called Triggers and Tiaras. But before we get into that, I would just like to do my call to action. Ask everyone to please head over to YouTube and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Tell your friends and follow us on all social media platforms. And thank you for everyone who already has.
Thank you.
So we start out in San Diego. Again, we're still in San Diego. And they're done at the amusement park and they're going to dinner. So
Michelle
Janet,
getting annoyed that she might have to sit next to Lacey or across from her.
so immature, to be honest with you. So immature.
You know, I have a feeling that a lot happened off camera, obviously. And listen, I'm sure Lacey's not the easiest person to deal with. I would imagine. And I don't think
so, too.
Michelle's the easiest person to deal with. And we certainly know Jesse's not the easiest person to deal with. So I think it's a situation of her story, and somewhere in the middle is the truth.
I agree. No, I totally agree. Lacey feels like Janet and Michelle are being mean girls to her. And while this is going on, Kristen doesn't feel like staying at the restaurant because she doesn't feel good. She doesn't want to be a Debbie Downer there. She just wants to head back and just wants to lay down in bed. And I think, personally, Luke was he offered to go with her. She didn't want that. He totally understood, like, if that's what she wants to do, that's what she wants to do. But then Zack walked over, and then she's like, no, this isn't what I wanted. And then Brittany walked over, and then she's just like, listen, she is in the midst of it. And it is like, this is how she felt.
It's how she felt. I don't think Luke could say anything right in this situation. No matter what he said, it wasn't going to be good. I've said it on the podcast many times. I had postpartum depression really bad after tests. And sometimes you wanted to leave the house with the baby. And sometimes it was so overwhelming. And the wave of anxiety is so much. All you want to do is be home with the baby. It's very normal what she's going through. I feel bad because Luke's getting the brunt of it. And in this moment, Zack and Brittany.
Yeah.
But like you said, she's going through it. Like, these babies are little that they're bringing on these trips. They're little. So it's like almost like they should have just left them home with the nanny or a family member. It doesn't seem like Kristen has like family members. Nia has her mom, but I don't
even
know.
think that was the case with this because that's not even the issue with Kristen. The issue is she's hemorrhaging, right?
Right.
So
She's
she got her
just not
first
comfortable.
Right. She got her first period after the baby. So it's extremely heavy. She's wearing the adult diaper. She's very uncomfortable in her own skin. She doesn't feel well. She just wants to be home. That's where she should go. Go back to the place that they're staying. And nobody would fault her for that.
No.
But when she sees people like trying to come and talk to her, she feels like it's being made into a big thing. When really it's not. But again, nobody could have done anything at that point because she was just already in her head.
Yeah. And I think Zack's intentions were good. Like, he's obviously got a good way with Kristen and Luke. And I think and I believe Brittany where she said, like, I thought you were looking at me like you wanted me. Like, I don't think Brittany like Brittany's like a Terry. Like, there's no, you know, there's no being
exactly. There's no malice.
No malintent. No.
Right. No. So she goes back by herself. Then Jasmine starts with what to ask Michelle, what would you think if Jesse was the officiant at our wedding? And Michelle's like, that's okay. It's, it's fine with me.
So
Jesse decides he's going to do a quick audition for the wedding, the officiant. And then Lala says that she's going to throw her hat in the ring. And she decides to say, we all know when we find love and you choose to get married. You know that it will end, but you guys are lesbians, so you're going to stand the test of time. You'll be fine. I'm like, oh, okay, that would be a great officiant. Then we see Lala goes over to talk to Lacey, and Danny and Schwartz are drinking. And I'll be honest with you, Danny was inebriated.
Yeah.
And we have never seen dark side Danny.
No, and I don't think he was so bad at the dinner. Like,
No,
I have to
wasn't.
be
He
honest.
wasn't.
He wasn't, but I find drunk people very like sloppy I find that very annoying, which, who the hell am I? Because I've been there. But he was, like, annoying drunk at the dinner. It
He
hadn't
was obnoxious.
heightened. Yeah, but obviously we see what happens after that. Danny is obviously someone who just shouldn't drink. He just shouldn't drink. Smoke
I
weed,
agree.
Danny. Seriously. He shouldn't drink.
No, I totally agree. And, Lala's calling him out on it. And listen, I get it. Lala's been there. She knows what it looks like. And again, she's
And
another
I'm
one.
not saying he's an alcoholic. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he can't control his behavior when he drinks, and it might not happen every night. It might not happen every week. It might only happen once a month, but you're not a good drinker. And when you're not a good drinker, you just shouldn't drink.
Exactly. No, exactly. Totally agree. Because then he makes that comment to Michelle, "Don't yawn at the table because I don't want you to be labeled an alcoholic." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you
Yeah,
of all
it was
people."
like, yeah, right.
Then Janet and Jason ask Jesse and Lacey to hang back, that they want to have a little talk before they all leave. So Janet starts out with, "I noticed that you blocked me. I didn't know if there was some sort of boundary or anything you wanted to talk to me about." Now, again,
She
Janet
starts
doesn't,
the
first of all,
conversation the same way she did with Jasmine and Nia. If there's anything
right,
you wanna say, "No, Janet, you know what you did? Apologize."
right. You're the one who started the conversation. You're the one who asked to have the conversation.
Yeah.
She
No,
just,
0 accountability, and Jason's like, "Yeah, no, she's right."
so Lacey goes on to say, "Listen, I just, personally, I feel like you guys are mean girls, and I understand why Michelle, you know, doesn't like me. She's warranted, I'm dating her ex. Like, there's history there. But you, to me, went on national television and told everyone that I threatened to sue you." And then she's like, "Well, you sent a cease and desist." And she's like, "No, I didn't. No, I did not. I actually only sent it to Michelle, didn't send it to you."
And
She's like,
let's
"Well,"
be clear, she had every right to do that because Michelle and Jesse called Sheena, of course, it always goes back to Sheena, on camera. They didn't say her name, but they brought her up and spoke about her on the show. I mean, a cease and desist is one thing, like, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. But
right.
he had every right to send that to Michelle because that was on the show.
It was on the show. And like she said, you Google her name now, and the only thing that comes up is, Baywatch, like all this stuff about her, which is
She said
crazy.
David Hasselhoff and his new wife have blocked her.
Blocked her, right?
I mean, was it David Hasselhoff? It could not have been David Hasselhoff for
They
crying out loud.
just said Baywatch. They just said Baywatch.
I
She
know,
was
but
sleeping
come
with
on,
someone
he's
from
like,
Baywatch.
I mean, he's older than us, right?
He's absolutely older than us, but there was Baywatch, the movie that Zac Efron was in.
Right. And there
You're
were other
talking about
younger, much
Baywatch.
better looking guys on Baywatch when Baywatch was on.
Yeah, but there was a movie that came out that Zac Efron was in. It could have been someone from that.
Right.
Also much younger.
Yeah. Which wasn't a bad movie, by the way. We watched it. It wasn't bad.
I know, I watched it too. I didn't hate it.
It wasn't bad at all.
But again, she doesn't own up to it about, that she looked at, she did this deep dive and looked her up on Reddit, and that she tried out for the Housewives 17 times. And Janet's
and then
like, "Well,
laughed
no."
about it.
Right. And then Janet's not even owning it. Lacey's like, "I have the voicemail message where you apologized." So that means she did own up to it at one point, but now that you're on camera?
Yeah, and Janet, I'm sorry. First of all, there's nothing wrong with Lacey trying to try out for Housewives. And I saw a clip of 2Ts where Tamra and Dolores were talking about this. And Tamra was like, I had heard that she tried out. And what's wrong with that? By the way, I don't know why they didn't put her on. They should have. But for whatever reason. I doubt it was 17 times. Maybe it was multiple times, but so have a lot of other housewives done that. Apparently Jennifer Aiden was trying to get on for years prior to getting on. And I'm sure there are a lot more that we just don't know about.
100%.
Okay, so you resubmit.
Yeah.
You don't get it the first time, you resubmit. That's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So good for her.
So again, Janet doesn't admit to anything, but she does
Ignores
say,
it.
yeah, she said, if it came off as offensive to you, then I'm sorry. Again, didn't admit to it. Janet said, I want to have a fun weekend and everyone's here. So, and Jesse's like, this is the type of apology that everyone hates about you. Like, this is what you
Hates you
do.
for, yeah.
And Janet's like, I guess, just don't mean that. I guess you just don't mean that much to me, which again, it
Janet
just proves
said,
that
it doesn't mean anything to me and it's not worth my time. And she walks away. I don't like to use this word and I'll spell it out, but she's a PUSSY. She walks the walk. She can't talk the talk. She cannot face up to anything she's done.
right. Because that's not a real apology.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And then she walks away. Meanwhile, she says F you and she's giving them the finger. And
Jason says to Jesse and Lacey, this is too far. You've gone too far. They've gone too far?
Right.
Because Jesse yelled at her. She yelled at her.
He yelled at her and he was clapping. And Lacey's telling him to stay out of it. And Jason jumps in and says to Jesse, what is your problem right now? Listen, in this situation, I don't think that Lacey did anything wrong. Jesse was fueling the fire. He should have stayed out of it. She could have handled it herself. By the same token, there's no reason for Jason to be there either.
No. Yeah, right. It probably should have just been Lacey and Janet.
Right. But Janet, like you said, she can't admit to anything and she can't fight her own battles that she creates.
Right. No, she needs Jason there for sure. Yeah, she needs Jason there. Then they meet up again outside.
Yes, yes. And, Jesse goes up to Lacey and said, give me your keys, I'll go get the car. And she's like, I just want you to apologize for yelling. He's like, well, there'll be an apology, but not now.
First of all, I do wonder what the dynamic of their relationship is. She doesn't seem to like Jesse very much. She doesn't act like she likes him very much. I don't know how she acts off camera, but she really doesn't. And don't tell him what to do because I guarantee you Jesse has that oppositional defiance disorder. The more you tell him what to do, the more he's going to, not do it. The less likely he is to do what you're asking him to do.
I think she likes him. And I think it is a little game that she kind of plays with him.
Maybe.
So that his head is not too big. I think she likes to have the upper hand because of what a strong personality he is.
Yeah. And she's got money and he doesn't,
She's got money and he doesn't. And I'll be honest with you, she doesn't need him. I think he needs her more than she needs him. And I think that she uses that power. And good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
She could, it could be, obviously, she has an interest of being on reality TV. So this
100%.
does serve her well, dating him and now being on reality TV because she didn't want to be on last season, but maybe when OC didn't pull through, she was like, okay, I guess I'll be on the Valley.
Well, also when she didn't get to tell her side of the story because we were only hearing.
Right.
We were only hearing. There's only one way for us to hear her side, and that's for her to come on and do it, right?
Right.
So it makes sense. It made sense for her to come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then Janet has to say to her, "Oh, well, maybe if you peg him, he'll apologize." First of all, that is the most crass thing I've heard. I agree. Am I being prudish or is that crass? I think it's crass.
No, I don't know why this is like a thing now. We saw it on Southern Hospitality when Lily said it, Lily Grace, or Grace Lily, rather.
Grace Lily.
Maybe that didn't sound right. I don't understand I find it, it's not offensive to me. It's just why are we even, why?
Like that would just be to emasculate him?
Right. Which is offensive. Not to us as straight women, but it is offensive.
Right. And Lacey's like, I don't even know what that means. And I don't think she was lying. Jason
She said, I don't talk about that. She said,
Well,
"I don't talk
first
about that stuff."
she said, "I don't talk about butt stuff." Because first she said, "I don't know what it means," and then she said, and it said, "F him in the butt," and she's like, "I don't talk about that butt stuff." But Jason knew exactly what it meant. I don't
Wow,
know.
that's interesting.
I thought so too.
I mean, Janet emasculates Jason every scene we see them in, so
I know. So they get back to the house. I don't know if you noticed this, but it was 9:33. Danny's like, "Oh, wow, it's late for me." And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh my gosh, when 9:33 is late when
it
you have
is.
four small children, right?"
Yep. Yep.
So back at the big house, Lacey and Jesse are trying to unpack Lacey's stuff because this is her first time back at the house. I guess Lala won and got the big room. That's what it looked like.
Absolutely. And that room that they were in was small, Jesse and and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, Lala won, which should be no surprise to anyone.
No. No. So then we see Janice in the massage chair in the big room. And in the bed is Lala, Brittany, and Michelle. And they're all talking about what happened, at the restaurant.
And but Janet, as soon as she goes in the room, she's like, "I don't like her." And I d
Yeah. And then we see Luke is talking to Zack, and Zack is explaining what happened with Kristen and how she starts taking things out on the people that she loves the most. And, it's very frustrating. And pretty much that's Zack and Luke that she's, taking it out on.
yeah. And I feel bad because Luke said he doesn't feel respected and loved, and the criticism is making him doubt himself as a dad and a partner, and that's the problem. That's the problem. Like, I think it happens with firstborn children between the parents if they're together. I do think that happens. Like, we laugh about it now, but when my kids were teething, I wanted to give them Tylenol. Eric's just not a medicine person. He's not a medicine person. That's not his first go-to, he'll be like, "Rub the ice," or whatever, and I'm like, "I just wanna fucking sleep. I'm giving her the Tylenol." You know what I mean? And Eric used to, like, make fun of me, like, "You have a holster of medicines, and every time they get, something happens, you're ready to shoot," you know? We kid about it now, but back then it wasn't funny, and back then we argued over it a lot. There's a lot to argue over with your firstborn child. By the second one, you're like, whatever gets them to sleep at night, you know? But it's where it seems to be wearing him down.
Yeah, and they don't know, like, that's the whole thing, it's not like and by the way, when you do figure it out, you have the next one's totally different anyway, so what you thought you knew, throw it out the window.
Exactly.
So
They are not carbon copies of each other. And you think you're going to parent them both the same way or the three of them the same way. You don't because you can't because they're different.
right, right,
But Zach
then we
started
see
crying.
he did,
I
he
thought that was
did.
very sweet. Like he truly cares about all of them. And I love that he cares about Luke just as much as he cares about Kristen.
Yeah,
Like, I
because
think
he
if
was
Luke were
saying
really doing something wrong, Zach would have called him out on it and, we would see it.
Zack is honestly, I would give him, like, the number 1 gay best friend.
But yeah, he's the number one guy in the group. Absolutely.
Yeah, he
Absolutely.
really is. I mean, even 100%.
For sure.
These are words we say all the time is
All the time. You guys
absolutely.
should if you drink, you should play a drinking game and drink every time we say 100%, absolutely, or for sure.
That's right. I mean, only if you're not driving.
Right. Only if you're not driving. Yes.
Yeah, he cares about his friends and he will ride for them, which
Yeah.
is awesome. Like, that's the kind of
Yep.
friend you want. You do.
Which really leads me to believe that Janet is just truly not a good person. Because apparently she and Zach were close at one point, and them not being close now, it just leads me to really believe that it's her, it's not him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So Jason is still coming for Jesse, and he's saying that, Jesse is not acting normal. And I'm just like, why is this any of your business right now? Seriously.
He's like, I don't know how to say this to not he's almost like an abused spouse, Jason. Like, I don't know how to say it any other way. Maybe not abused, maybe obviously abused is the wrong word. Like, inferior to Janet. Like he doesn't see his value in this relationship, I don't feel. Where
No,
he
I
is the
agree.
more valuable person in the relationship.
He absolutely is. He absolutely is. Did I say Jason is still coming for Jesse, or did I say Danny? Because I meant to say Danny, but I'm not sure what I actually said.
No, you said Jason, but I have that the
Jason
guys are
still
all talking about what happened, and
right,
Jason said Jesse got loud.
right. Well, and Jason also said that if Jesse didn't get involved, that Lacey and Janet could have worked it out.
And I don't think that's true. Well,
I don't
I mean, unless Janet like actually took accountability and apologized, which
well, that would have to happen. Right, right. So then Lacey comes in the kitchen and says, "Can you please apologize to Jason for yelling?" And Jesse apologized for yelling when she was walking out of the restaurant. So he did finally apologize. Lacey's like, "You can't yell in people's faces, like when you don't like what's happening." And then Brittany said, "I think at some point, like you and Michelle need to talk, like, have a conversation about last year." And Michelle's like, "Well, I'm right here. Like, what?" And Brittany's like, "Just so you guys can clear the air." So Brittany's like, the whole cease and desist. So those two decide that they're going to go and have a conversation. Lacey and Michelle. This also went left.
my God, so left. I mean, and part of the problem is, well, Michelle says you tried to sue me. The biggest problem is that Jesse has shown Lacey text messages from Michelle to him about Lacey. And I mean, this kind of surprised me that she like talked about her physical appearance. That kind of surprised me about Michelle.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me given the context of it because it was in the midst of her just coming into Jesse's life when they had already, like she explains it, when they'd already made an agreement that they weren't going to introduce anybody. And then
Right.
here's this girl sitting in the car. So obviously
Right.
she was going to be introduced. It was someone that she didn't know anything about, just, you know,
Right.
what was the word on the street that she probably got from Janet, right? So, yeah, she's lashing out in what she thinks is to her soon to be ex. And listen, it didn't surprise me because you think about it. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to have to say something. You don't know this person. So all you got right now is a physical appearance thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't, there's nothing wrong with her. Like she's a pretty girl. Like
No,
if
of
she was
course.
ugly, if it was ugly, it would be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she said she's ugly, but she's a beautiful
Right.
girl. So it's like, who cares?
That's true. Well, how about the throwing him through a window thing? Like the stories were very, very, very different.
Yeah. And then again, that's the problem because we have Jesse's version of it, we have Michelle's version of it, and then there's probably the truth,
Somewhere
which
in the
is
middle.
right. And again, Jesse is giving this information to Lacey, which
Right. So of course he's going to paint himself in a good light and Michelle in a bad light. She should know that.
right.
Jasmine in her confessional saying she's going to DoorDash Michelle a vibrator was fantastic. And I hope
Yes.
she actually did it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like, yeah,
Oh, but she might be getting it from Dr. Dre right now. So
I think she's okay.
I think she's fine.
I think she's okay.
She's got a
Maybe
smile on her face.
maybe she can send one to Janet though.
Please,
I don't know
please.
that would help though.
I don't either. Gummies, give her something. Do something.
I said, I felt like Michelle just needed to admit that she was being petty and apologize in
Well,
this
yeah, because
situation.
Lacey apologizes and Michelle starts yelling, "Divorce me! Divorce me!" I mean, she really kind of lost it there. Admittedly, I probably would have too, but
Right. And
somebody
Michelle
has to be the
admits
bigger person here.
right, Michelle admits that she lost it. I mean, after,
Yeah.
she reflects on it and the next day when she talks to her, she's like, "Listen, like I don't I don't like to get like this, but, obviously this is a trigger for her.
Yeah.
Anything relating to her ex or soon to be ex is a trigger because, I don't know if it's true or not, but Jesse hasn't disputed it. Michelle told us that she said he can have everything. She didn't want the house. She didn't want the money. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what is taking this divorce so long?
I'm sure it's him holding it up. I'm sure it's
Right.
him dragging his feet. I believe that wholeheartedly.
I do too. I do too, and I feel like she's frustrated. It's a control thing, and she even says this to Lacey, "Jesse liked to control me." But I don't think he has any control over Lacey because, like you said, she's got the money and she
Yeah.
doesn't need him. He
Yeah.
needs her more than she needs him, so
Absolutely.
it's a totally different dynamic.
Yep. Totally, totally different.
Let's see what happens next.
Well, the next morning, so the girls, Janet and Brittany, they sit Michelle down. I think Lala was there that, kind of lost, Michelle lost it and she should probably, do better tomorrow. Then we're at the next morning when Schwartzy tells Lala that he had an intense sex dream about her and she had to reassure him that he didn't actually cheat on his girlfriend with her.
That was so funny. That was so funny. He is, like I said, he is like a golden retriever. He really is. Like, he's
He
so
is. And I loved when she was like, he'd probably have steamed glasses and keep his socks on. I just thought
not
of,
wrong.
did you watch Southern Charm when Catherine, the redhead Catherine, she's not on it anymore, but she was talking about how she had sex with Whitney and he kept the girls asked her, like, did he keep his glasses on? And she was like, he did.
That's so funny. So the next morning, they are getting ready to go to the safari. So, oh my gosh, Zack and Benji in their outfits was so funny. Their safari outfits.
It was so funny when Zach was like, you look like you paid for an expensive safari and I look like I'm your tour guide.
Yep,
He really did. He totally looked like he worked there.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. And when they were packing the episode before, I'm like, they're packing to wear safari outfits? I thought, oh my gosh. And then when we actually saw them, I said, oh my, I love it. I so love it.
Yeah. I think that was just at the San Diego Zoo, though, right?
Yeah, it was. It was. So in the morning, Jason's talking about like he has to go back, I guess, to the valley because he's got something to do from work. So he wasn't sure if he should come back to the house or just stay at home because it's a long drive. And Janet's like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Just come back here just to sleep here.
Right.
And
Because they
he's
were
kind of
leaving
like,
the next
well,
day anyway.
yeah. And he's like, well, I don't really want to leave you here by yourself. I'm like, it just goes to show you, like, give me a break.
Yeah. I think she can handle herself.
Yeah.
And if she can't, then she needs to keep her mouth shut.
Yeah, exactly. Then we see Kristen and Luke are outside and they're on the swing and she really apologizes to him. She's crying about, her anxiety and, Luke is saying he feels like he's taking it out on him and she is. And she acknowledges that. She's like, I shouldn't take it out on you. But, in her confessional, she still worries in the back of her mind, like he may not be able to take me some point and just like leave me. Like, I know that this is a good guy and I don't want to screw this up, like with my crazy, right?
Yeah. And it was interesting when she said, like, about her exes, like, who couldn't handle her anxiety, and I was like, thinking like, God, we really have seen her go through it because Sandoval was cheating on her with Adriana. We found out eventually, which, by the way, Adriana, you lose him like you get him. So I don't know what to tell you. And then, James was not, he had
He was
substance.
abusive.
Yeah. Like so yeah, she hasn't had the best relationships.
No, she really hasn't.
Not that she
No.
was not that she was innocent either, but
She was crazy Kristen for a reason,
yeah, exactly.
but she has
Yeah.
matured a lot, and this is not her
Yes.
being crazy. This is a hormonal thing from postpartum, right? So they're getting ready to get onto the wagons, the wagons for the safari, and there's 2 different ones, and Nia has to take the baby on through the safari because she needs to feed the baby because it's 10 minutes overdue. And Danny's already on the wagon, but the baby and Lena are on the ground, and Nia's telling him to go get the baby and the wagon or the stroller and get them onto the wagon. And Danny is just a little confused by the whole situation. So I watched the after show. Did you watch the after show? So on the after show, what he was explaining was the whole reason that they brought Lena was the reason they paid Lena to go there with them is so that she would be there to help with the baby so that they could spend some time together. Obviously, Lena can't breastfeed, but she could do everything else. And, when he would say, you know, why can't Lena do this? And I kind of don't blame him. Like he wanted to go on this trip and have a little fun and, blow up a little steam and spend some time with his wife, even though the baby was there. And she just had a different expectation. Like, she is used to doing things a certain way, and it just comes off so bad.
It
It
comes
just
off
comes off
bad,
so
and
bad.
to the kids at home, this should be all the birth control you need, watching Nia and Danny and Luke and Kristen, because this is real shit right here. This is real
Yeah.
shit that they're putting out there for us to watch. So wrap it up if you're not ready for this. But it doesn't make Danny an asshole that he didn't know the nanny needed help getting onto the truck. Like,
No.
how the producers are starting to piss me off a little bit. Because they
Yeah.
really are. Listen, the drunk Danny, no good. No good. We
No.
see it
No.
coming up. But in
No.
that moment, that didn't make him an asshole. And what
No.
happens next, Nia going crazy because the baby isn't in the shade. Well, you should have probably thought about that before you brought that baby on that truck. If you were afraid, where was the baby's hat, Nia? Like, whose fault? Like, I'm sorry, but in that moment, she was putting way more on Danny than necessary. But
Mhm.
again, you're dealing with a new baby. This is what happens with couples. So if you're not in it for the long haul, you don't do it. But I didn't like what she did to him next about the whole baby being in the sun and put her in and get her in the shade. And first of all, she's not going to melt. I know it's hot, but she ate, she's hydrated. She's going to be okay. How
Right.
long is this ride anyway? And you should have thought about that. Maybe
Right.
maybe Lena and the baby should have stayed at the house with Kristen's kid. That drove me nuts.
Yeah, and I can't imagine, listen, I know that she needs to nurse the baby all the time, or, how long was the actual
Month,
safari?
right.
Wasn't it?
I don't know how. I mean, it could have been at least an hour for sure, but it was at a zoo. It wasn't like you were in an African safari.
Right. Yeah.
I'm thinking of I'm thinking of Great Adventure going through that safari. It couldn't have
I
been much
know.
more than that.
I know, right, and what is that? That's not even an hour, I don't think.
That's not even an hour now. I'm sure this
But
one's
poor
better than
Jasmine,
that.
she's like, "I feel so awkward, like, watching them." I'm just like, "Okay, there's a giraffe." Like, she's trying to and I honestly would probably be doing the same thing. Like, what do you do when you're like,
Absolutely,
you're
yeah. Yeah.
so then they finish the safari and they get off and some of them are gonna go zip lining. I was actually surprised that Jesse went zip lining since he wouldn't go near the roller coaster,
Yeah. Yeah. I guess
right?
it's not a heights thing, it's just a roller coaster thing.
Yeah. But Zack wanted to go get a rhino full of vodka. I was like, "Oh, that was not a bad idea."
It wasn't, but when he was trying to pull it over his head and he was, like, struggling and Lacey's just, like, totally ignoring not ignoring him on purpose, but she had no clue, like, that went right over her head. Meanwhile, he's, like, choking himself out.
Yeah. So according to Zack, I mean, everybody really does like Lacey. Kristen is very close with Lacey. Zack is close with Lacey. Like, I mean, everyone except for Michelle and Janet, but
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a divide here. I think we're gonna have teams pretty soon. It's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a thing.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because then when they're done doing the zip lining, there's this whole spread of food out
That looked
and
good,
there's
that spread of
alcohol.
food.
It did. There's alcohol there and Danny orders himself a White Claw. Now, what's a White Claw? I mean,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
really can
it's like soda.
right. You're not getting drunk off a White Claw. Although I think he may have. I don't know maybe what else he put in his White Claw. Maybe
Maybe he
some of
has
that
Gilbert
Rhino
syndrome.
maybe, or maybe some of that Rhino full of vodka got poured in there. I don't know.
Maybe maybe the rhino was being shared.
I doubt it. I don't think Zach would do that, but maybe he does though. Maybe there is a reason that he can't drink alcohol. Maybe his body just gets very drunk very quick. I
Well,
mean, he's
that's
not a
it.
big
Yeah,
guy.
like that I believe that is an issue with anyone who has Gilbert syndrome. I someone in my family who was diagnosed with that, and they have a much lower tolerance for alcohol than other people.
Right. And that may just be what his situation is. So then while they're eating, Chell says to Lala, like, I'm gonna go talk to Lacey, like, tell me how to start. I like that Lala, kind of gave her a little pep talk. You're going to go over there, you're going to be friendly, make it clear. You need to be firm that what happened last night
Sure.
cannot happen again, right? So Michelle does. She walks over there and she asks Lacey if she can talk. And I think that I think Michelle did a good job.
Yeah.
I think she started well. And I think Lacey did too. She said, listen, first and foremost, I want to apologize. I feel horrible. You know, I know a part of the problem is that Jesse did share these text messages with me, and that's wrong. Like, she knows it's wrong, right?
Mhm.
And I think that listen, I think that that conversation went very well. I think that they were both able to express themselves in a calm and a cool way, and I think they were able to make their points, which really is what needed to happen. And I don't think that Michelle is like this crazy erratic person that flips out all the time. That's not really who she is.
And not at all. We said it last week. Like, she's clearly a
Right.
very calm person. I think Jesse
Right.
knows what to do to rile her up,
Right.
but still,
Right.
she doesn't even raise her voice other than when she was yelling, "Divorce me, divorce me." But we've
Right.
never seen that side of her before. She just seems like a
No.
calm person.
Right.
And so
And
does
so does
Lacey.
Lacey. Exactly. So does Lacey. Lacey's
Yeah,
the
so,
same
like,
way.
if Jesse weren't involved, they would probably be fine.
Yeah, they probably would be. They probably would be. So those guys work it out. And Lacey in her confessional said, listen, she thinks that Michelle has her own like trauma that's kind of unresolved. But she admits that she does as well. Like, she goes to therapy herself. Like, this is not something that just like happened overnight, especially the situation with Jesse. So then they announced that they're going to go back to their place, but they're going to be doing a male pageant because they've got all the accessories, the competition, because Nia was the former Miss USA. So they're going to go do this pageant thing. But on the way back, Zach and Schwartz decide to stop and get Four Locos. Have you ever had these Four Locos?
I've never had it, but it's some rapper started it, right?
I don't know, but my kids talk about this Four Loco. Like, I guess it's a lot of alcohol content. They're very
Think so.
strong, and it's like it's the 20 something thing. Like, that's what they drink.
Yeah, so
Who
it
started
was
it?
produced by Fusion Projects, and it had 13.9% alcohol level, and that's equivalent to, roughly 4 to 7 standard beers. Originally, it was sold with caffeine, and then it was reformulated in 2010 to remove the stimulants, but I thought there was a rapper involved. Let me just see. Oh, no, I'm thinking of something else. AP Rock? Yeah, the most prominent rap song titled "For Loco." I'm thinking of
Is
something
different.
else. SZA something. I'm thinking of something else, yeah.
Okay, so this is just a high alcohol content
Yeah.
drink. Okay. So they're back at the house and everyone's helping them get dressed as drag. They're helping Schwartz. They had a couple options for him. Schwartz is so like, he's such a good
Whatever.
sport, right? Whatever.
He's like, "Oh, I wanna wear this dress." They're like, "No, that's actually Lala's dress that she's gonna wear while we're
Right.
here."
Exactly. So we see Nia's helping Danny and Danny's like he's there to win. I didn't realize Danny was that competitive about stuff.
I mean, is he, or was he drunk and he was just being an ass?
I mean,
Because
y-
Lala said, like, at one point, I thought it was like a shtick. Like, at one point, I thought he was acting, like, in character
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
And she
yeah.
asked
Yeah.
him, and
He said no, yeah.
I mean, the fact that she wasn't there right away because she was doing something with the baby, and then she's telling him to take his shirt off 15 times, and he's standing there, and he's like, "Well, what do you want me to do? Take your fucking shirt off. She just told you 15 times." It was not a good look for Danny at all. At all.
No, he actually was even saying to her, he's telling her, "You're in charge," and he felt like he wasn't getting enough attention compared to what everyone else was getting,
Yeah. I hate when guys
which
say that.
yeah.
I really hate when guys say that. She's not your caretaker.
Right,
Like,
right.
she's here now, and she's helping you, and she's trying to do it all, which she probably does at home as well. So, keep your pants on, Danny, or actually take
Yeah.
them off and put the dress on.
Yeah, and exactly, and then she said, do you want full makeup?" And he's like, "Why are you even asking me that?" So then she starts to go put the full makeup on, and then he's freaking out. I mean, it didn't
Yeah.
match, but still, like, she was just
That could you know
trying.
what I was thinking, though? That really could have been lighting, though. Again, like, I think the producers are just messing with them this season. That could have been just bad lighting
Yeah.
because it looked
I
very
mean, he's
yellow.
almost orange, like, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when Lala came in and she's like, I feel uncomfortable by the way you're speaking to her." Like, and she even apologized. She's like, "Listen, I'm sorry, Nia, but I'm triggered by this." And like, she walks out and she's crying. Like, she literally was triggered because
So do
you know
you
that
think she
she's
was triggered because in prior relationships she was spoken to that way?
yeah, I do. I do. I think she's seen this firsthand. Based on her reaction, I think she's seen it firsthand. I think she's seen it firsthand. And then he just makes it worse because then, she walks back in and he keeps making fun of her by calling her mistriggered. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
He was definitely not in his right space right there. He drank too much. He was Dark Danny, whatever they call him. But, I I didn't like that Lala said on Watch What Happens Live, "I wish Nia would leave him." I think that's a terrible thing for her to say. I think that Danny ultimately is probably a good husband and a great father. He just shouldn't drink. But I also didn't like that, Nia said in her confessional, 1, it's not Lala's business, but 2, thankfully someone else sees it. It's kind of 2 contradictory statements, right?
She meant it that way, I think, to be quite honest with you. I mean, she was
Yeah,
being honest. I think she was saying, like, it's none of her business, but you know what? Thank God I'm not at least it's
yeah,
validating my feelings. I'm not the only
right.
one, right? And I think that well, I can almost guarantee that as soon as Danny saw this back
Well, that's the thing. If Danny saw this back and thought to himself, "That was really shitty of me. I shouldn't have behaved that way," and reached out to Lala and said, "Listen, I just saw the show and I apologize." But it doesn't sound like he did that because of the way she was talking on Watch What Happens Live. It doesn't
well,
sound
we
like
don't
he did that, and he should have. He should have called Lala and been like, I'm sorry."
but maybe listen, she was on the
The
night
night
that
it
it
aired.
aired, but
Yeah,
I
so
think
maybe
they
he
tape
did.
it. They tape it. They usually don't actually do it live anymore. So they
Right, you're
probably
right.
taped it a couple days before. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
Yeah,
he hadn't had a chance to do that yet.
right. Yeah,
Because
you're right.
I agree. I think that
Hopefully he did.
because I don't really think he's a bad guy. I just don't like you said, I don't think he should drink. I think
Right,
that's not good for him,
right.
and maybe he should get tested because maybe he does have that whatever you called it. Repeat it so
Yeah,
people
it's
know.
it's it's spelled Gilbert's syndrome, but it's pronounced Gilbert syndrome. And your
Yeah,
your liver doesn't break down the bilirubin properly, so your tolerance is lower. You can live with it, it's okay, it's just a liver issue,
right.
and it will affect the way your body handles alcohol intake.
Yeah. So that was left as a to be continued. So
How
we'll
about when you could tell, though, when Lala was trying to talk to Jesse about it, he was not comfortable talking about it. He did not wanna say anything. He didn't want to.
no. No, and I don't blame him. It's his friend.
Yep,
It's his friend.
yep,
And I think that's okay.
me too.
That's okay. It didn't come up on the after show. It did not come up on the after show.
Really?
Yeah.
How could that not have come up on the after show?
I don't know.
Right?
It didn't come up on the after show.
Interesting.
No, I don't think it did. No, I don't think it did.
Wow. Alright. So
So
was
that's
that
all we
it?
have.
Because my DV okay,
Yeah,
because my DVR just
that's
shut
it.
off.
Yeah, that was it.
Alright.
Lala's last statement was, "I would hate to see how he talks to her behind closed doors if he talks to her like that in front of us."
Yeah, that's the problem. But, honestly, I think if there's not alcohol involved, I'm sure he doesn't talk like that at all.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
listen, we saw with her when she was freaking out about the baby and the sun and the shade and blah, 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 he just did what he just went,
Mhm.
"Okay, alright."
Mhm. Yeah, no, he doesn't no, he tries. Like, he definitely tries. Yeah. Alright, so we'll have to wait and see. Until next
Yeah.
time, thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe. Oh, what do you wanna say?
I just wanted to ask you, did you watch the last episode of Summer House?
Yeah, I sure did.
Did you see where West says to Dara, "That's the hottest costume we've seen in a long time around here," or something like that?
No.
Yeah. When they were, like, sitting on, like, the snowmobiles? Yeah, he said something
No,
like
I
that to
missed
her.
that.
He's a
Okay.
fucking dirty dog, that West, and KJ's come out and said something, commented, put a post out there, and as he should, because West is a dirty dog. But, yeah,
Really
that's all I wanted to
is.
say.
Okay. So, until next time, thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe and give us 5-star reviews. Bye.
Bye.